let's move on to the Mkhwanazi media briefing. SAP's dirty laundry going public.
Aish. A movie.
Yeah. So basically, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has exposed deep divisions and alleged political interference in policing. What are your views on this? Because obviously there are people who are saying, why have a whole press conference? Why have armed officers next to you in the press conference? Why are you dressed in army fatigues? There's been a lot said. Why not follow the right channels?
Whose channels? The channels of the same people we're exposing.
And like the ANC Youth League said, why not arrest a person if a person has broken the law?
Well,
why grandstand?
Fresh, I think the Youth League leader, I don't know whether he's the secretary or the president, I think he must sometimes apply his mind before you talk. Why not a press conference? What stops Mkhwanazi or anybody else who can go on a press conference? But I've broken this matter into three phases.
Okay.
The first one, I'm not going to really concern myself with what you call it when the chemo, the semantics, those things that means nothing to me. But just to mention it is on record that General Mkhwanazi was actually the head of that unit with that military style.
Oh, yes.
The chemo. That is the uniform of the South African Police Service. That is the uniform he last wore before he became the provincial commissioner. And you remember at some stage he acted as the national commissioner. And that was the last combat or operational position he occupied. And that is not a military uniform. That is the South African Police Service Combat Task Force uniform. So it was a correct uniform. But those people are still under him. For me, what does it say? You call them optics. For me, it was not just optics. I think it was demonstration of unity amongst the KwaZulu-Natal team that is heading. Because it was the blue normal uniform police with the assistant commissioners and generals in there, captains of police stations, and the combat team that we know it has been very notorious for getting into ambush or into, deadly killings of supposed to be criminals who are taking policemen when they are about to be arrested. So I think Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was demonstrating that he has rallied and he's got his people behind him. They are united in trying to fight crime. That's my reading of it. The second part it's why the media. I mean, guys, Mr. Mkhwanazi was raising these issues as a national dialogue, actually, when you look at it. You know what I said, Fresh? I said General Mkhwanazi brought South Africa into a national dialogue without spending a cent, unlike the national dialogue we are supposed to go into to look at various challenges of the country. He brought us international dialogue. One, security. Two, there was no money spent, and we are debating this from the president, from top to bottom. Three, there's a very important element. His media briefing demonstrated that it is not just the problem in the police. You understand? He mentioned the judiciary. He mentioned MPs who are involved, not in their names. So that is the legislative. Then he mentions a minister with the executive authority. I've always been saying there's no independence in these three supposed to be independent arms of the state. I've said it many times on this platform and various platforms. General Mkhwanazi stands there and say, a minister is corrupt or is involved into activities and engagements with corrupt criminals.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. That's one. Two, he says there are MPs. He alleged that some member of parliament, he didn't mention names and from which political party, are involved with the legislative authority. And he says they connive to such an extent that they even influences prosecutors, magistrates, and judges. That's the third arm of the state. Now, there's a national dialogue for me. And I say to people, when you're frustrated, I've been in the civil service for almost 30 years. And I found myself, on a bedrock. And there's a rock in front of me and on the side. What do you do when you arrive at a stage? It's not ill-disciplined. It is a disciplined, ethical civil servant who is saying, I've tried my level best to confine myself within the parameters of the law.
So are you saying that this was him saying, I don't know who to trust, so I'm going to just blow this thing open?
Yes, I don't know. And I think it hurt us as a nation because he could have easily, look, you are complaining about the Deputy National Commissioner of the Police, who is Mr. Shadrack Sibia. He's a Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Intelligence. You are complaining, you have issues with Crime Intelligence Unit that is heading. You are complaining that the Minister of Police is allegedly having contact and communication with drug dealers and crime kingpins. Now, who are your principals? Your primary principal is the police commissioner. If you are a provincial commissioners report to the national commissioner. The national commissioner, just like DGs, this is another part that people do not understand. The commissioners of state entities and the DGs, like DGs, and to some instances, like the public protector, the AG, they are appointed by the president of the republic.
Sure.
They are not appointed by the ministers. So they are primary political principals. It is it is the president. So Commissioner Moiloa, who is the direct line manager of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, reports to President Ramaphosa. Now, when Mkhwanazi stands there and say, but I don't trust the system. I don't trust this ABC. He hasn't mentioned anything about Moiloa. What do? You don't have a direct line to the president. You are frustrated. You understand? And then News 24 and other media houses, they actually even go and create a pattern that demonstrates how the president may be indirectly involved in this. I don't know if you saw that on News 24.
Yes. The organogram.
That
family tree, as they called it. Yes.
Where they link it would have been a step-grandson of President Ramaphosa, a link to the business people that have been mentioned into this. So I think, and I may be wrong, but I am convinced that Mr. Mkhwanazi knew what he was doing. He had spent time gathering evidence. He read WhatsApp.
So are you saying he's got receipts wherever he is?
Look,
otherwise he wouldn't have done it.
He would have not done this. At his level, the man is very educated, well-decorated, and well-experienced. He would have never done this. You do this when you've got material evidence to back you up. People are saying he calculated by doing it strategically when he was just about to be suspended for misconduct and refusing to...
Wasn't there an issue of some building rental or something?
They always bring the building rental, all those things. But it's only that he refused to literally disband the political killings task team. He refused to obey the directive of the minister.
But the minister was saying he's duplicating other work that SAPS are doing.
Why did they form it? Let me remind the viewers and South Africans how this thing came. We'll vividly recall that it was when a Mr. Ikunu, not the Minister of Police, the previous minister, Premier of KwaZulu-Natal.
Yes.
In the around 2015, 2016, when there were political killings, mainly in KZN, followed by Gauteng, they asked the president, who was President Zuma at the time, to say, look, this thing of political killing is no longer in Cat and ANC. It's across the board. It shows elements of corruption, involvement of state machinery. Can there be an investigation into this? At that time, President Zuma, with the request of the former Premier of Inquiry, the Advocate Moerane, the Senior Counsel Commission, was called the Moerane Commission, which came with recommendations. One of the, and I'm saying fresh, one of the recommendation of Moerane Commission was that a special political killing force must be formed in the Republic of South Africa, which included, in some instances, special investigators, a flying squad, combat teams, special task force. That team was not formed by a mere Mkhwanazi team. It was various teams that were brought in. That was formed in 2018 under President Ramaphosa, and it is a presidential declaratory. Now this is where I have a problem. When that was formed, the two past presidents, Zuma and Ramaphosa, were involved. So President Ramaphosa formed this task team. Do we think it's correct that it's being disbanded by a minister? That's the questions that we should be asking. It was formed by the president. Why is it being disbanded by this minister? 2018 to 2025, it's 7 years. We have seen successes, and nobody has complained that they're not succeeding. And we have seen successes of arrests and some prosecutions and all that. Why do you want to disband it? Have we solved the political killings? But now, the other problem that threats Mkhwanazi into the dirty linen of this thing is they are saying it started overstepping or overlapping into now getting involved into other criminal activities like drug trafficking. And it's clear drugs and assassination of athletes and, or what do you call it, musicians and superstars and celebrities. But if you are investigating, and I'm trying to apply my mind, and you stumble upon another crime.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You were investigating the killing of Magaqa. I'll make an example. Then you find that no, but the people who killed Magaqa, they're involved in drug trafficking. And then when you investigate them, they're also involved in killing celebrities and musicians. You wouldn't say that's not my part. That's not how law enforcement work. Especially when you are a special force, you will try and make a link in a form of a triangle of saying, how is this connected?
Yes.
And what's wrong with that? For me, a law enforcer, I don't care you're a traffic official or you're a peace officer or a policeman or what, I don't care. If you're a law enforcer and you stumble upon crime, you act.
Sure.
You will hand over after. And if that unit of political killings had done his job and they say now your time has come, why hand over the incomplete dockets and files to another province like Gauteng? Why? You know, those are the questions that I would ask if I'm going to sit in that. People are calling for another commission. I'm saying no. Waste of time, waste of money. General Mkhwanazi said he's got evidence. He has given, he said after the press conference, you can have copies. I'll give you some of these things. Some are in dockets. Now I'm with the people who say, arrest. You are a policeman. You have evidence. Lay a charge and arrest. And that's what he was supposed to do. I know he has laid a charge now, but how many charges in this country have been laid against political office bearers? How many? How many have we seen being cuffed? I want to see a police constable, not even a captain, to go and arrest a commissioner or a minister and then cuff them and put them at the back of the van, you know, and then take them to the police station, take the fingerprints, open a docket, investigate it. They must apply for bail and hand them over to the NPA. If we do not do that as a nation, then we are fooling people.
Sure.
So again, President Ramaphosa, unfortunately, this happens on a Sunday. I was at a funeral. I got the years late.
He is in Brazil.
President Ramaphosa is in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil dealing with BRICS issues. And shame, sadly, and he had to respond to this, ask for calmness and for thorough investigation. All political parties have said there must be an inquiry and parliamentary process to investigate this. They're wasting time. Information will be lost. They will come with political statements and say, no, it was not, like they already say in the past week, no, it was not this Minister Mskunu, it was Minister Cele. So you see what's going on now.
Yeah.
They're starting to point fingers at each other. But for people who are saying, President Ramaphosa wasted, I don't think he wasted time. Another thing some people were saying, he should have actually cancelled the trip in Rio and come back home immediately to deal with this national security crisis. Would it have made a difference? What could it have done if he flew back home? I think let the police do the police work, but I don't think the same security cluster of the country should be tasked with investigating themselves. You understand? I mean, in the middle of all this, again, during the past week, one of the things that's very critical that happened, the correctional services had a raid at, a Kosimampuru, a maximum security prison, where one of the mentioned alleged criminals is awaiting trial, is in jail. He's awaiting trial for an alleged attempted murder on the ex-girlfriend, as well as the tender of the Tembisa Hospital corruption. And he was found with a cell phone in the cell, in a cell.
Ke ma Matlala, ne?
Mr. Is it Brown? Their names, it's Matlala, Mr. Matlala.
Yes, sir. There are people who are arguing that, is it a coincidence that the press conference happened?
Yes.
Then there was a Matlala link.
Yes.
Now there's a raid and the phone is taken away. The people are saying this was possibly what's on that phone, that there was a raid all of a sudden.
Look, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
But I must say, I've been following the news.
Sure.
Before the raid on Monday or Tuesday in the Kozimampuru prison, correctional services, even the week before, they've been raiding ad hoc prisons, by the way, focusing on juvenile prisons.
So it's not a coincidence.
I think in their defense, it's not a coincidence, because few days before that, they raided another prison in Mabopane, in Odi.
Yes.
And also it was, and even a week before, they raided another prison. And I said, so I will give them the benefit of the doubt as correctional services. But you go and you raid Kozimampuru where Matlala is, after Matlala is mentioned 24 hours ago, and you find him with a cell phone. And now the primary people who had that cell phone, it's correctional services officials. The right thing to do is they will hand it over to South African Police Services. And that's where the mess is. You're going to hand the main culprit of Mkhwanazi's dossier of press briefing is found with a cell phone in prison. That cell phone, you can imagine the kind of information that the police can extract from it that will aid the current crisis that the country is being faced. Now, we don't know who has the cell phone and what is in that cell phone. But the fact that he had a cell phone while he was in prison, it could be of aid to this whole process. But what if that aid or the contaminated aid now was implicating some of the people in the police service? Do you think they will let it go as is to the investigators? And when will we get the investigators of this matter? After Parliament has debated and they've planned properly, how are they going to mislead us in this whole thing? In a normal country, the Minister of Police would have excused himself for a moment, and all those others who I mentioned, or they're being suspended while investigations are taking place, because you can't investigate people in a situation where they can influence and or control the investigation. It's very going to